Hello, everyone, and welcome back into day one of Clay ShareCon. I am super excited. This is our last kind of broadcast with a guest of the day, and we have the Adam Field joining us. So I know many of you took Adam's workshop with us last year, and you might not have known about him and his work before, but now you know, and if you don't, you need to check him out. But we're going to share with you a bit of his studio, hang out, chat with Adam, and he's also having another workshop coming up with us next month, and I think you're going to love it. Even if you didn't do the first one, you could do the second one with him. So come along and hang out with me and Adam Field for a little bit this evening. I think you're going to love it. So hey, Adam, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey, Jess, how are you? I'm doing well.
I'm so good. We are thrilled you could join us for Clay ShareCon and chat and share a little bit of your studio with everybody.
Yeah.
And that's rocking.
This was a birthday present. I had a recent birthday, and my mom
happy belated birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, my mom kind of just cranks these out like crazy. So she's like, all right, time for a new hat. So folks that aren't familiar, I'm in my studio here in Helena, Montana, where we have been in the depths of negative double-digit temperatures lately. So it's now t-shirt weather at 16 degrees above. Right. Which it's so crazy how it feels like it is actually warmer. It is, but it's not warm by any stretch of the imagination.
Wait till you get 40. You get a 40-degree day, you're going to be out in shorts.
Oh, yeah. Right. So I want to start the tour here with my favorite view, where I have my wheel set up, is looking to the north, about 3 hours drive up to Canada. And this is where I have my potter's wheel set up here. And I have 2 floors for my studio. And I situated the stoneware floor at the same level as the kilns, because the stoneware pots that I make are large enough that I don't want to have to be carrying them up and down the stairs. So I have a gas kiln here, and we can try maybe towards the end to get out to where the big kiln is in the garage there, but Wi-Fi is not always the best with this metal building. So I'm going to hold off now, but just to follow some of the kind of workflow, I have my clay very close as possible to the vehicles without being outside where it'll freeze. So that gets stored there. And then wedging table right in the center. And I have folding tables next to my wheel, which I like because I can just change up the configuration as needed. Sometimes if I'm making really large pots, I can move all of this out of here, and it's really great to have that open space right there. Have a sink, which is a new addition this year, which has been amazing. Although I don't get as many steps up and down the stairs anymore, but I'll take it.
A sink is a luxury.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it's pretty good to have that. And then my wheel, and then I have 2 other workstations over here for assistance, or if I have people come to learn from me directly here in the studio, then they can use these 2 spaces. I have my reclaim area where all of the clay scraps get blended into a slurry, and then they get poured into this plaster lined wood frame evaporator, essentially, until the clay is ready to pop out of there and to reuse. And once the pots have had a chance to dry, then I take them out to the garage. Actually, I'm going to go out there, and if you want to just tell me if
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. So I have one gas kiln right here, and I do my glaze firing in this currently. And then I have 2 electric kilns. along it, he kind of shelves coming out from the center of each wall, and these three.
So we're losing Adam a bit here because the connection. I think the Wi-Fi is just not strong enough.
This is fired, ready for this area is where the. Oh, it's not doing it. Okay. Well, now we know the limits.
We know the limits. We got out there and we could see in, and then we lost the connection. But it's good to know the limits.
Yeah. So the garage is broken up into quadrants, and it's kind of bisque, glaze firing, and then packing and shipping, and then the pots go out the door from there and get shipped out. Now, I have the luxury of a second floor down below here of the studio, and I store my glazes in 5-gallon buckets along the stairs. And talk about new additions. This is a new addition right here.
Washer and dryer in your studio.
Amazing, because the third floor of the studio is the apartment, which we just had built out. And so we do a lot of Airbnb, or if people come to learn directly, then they can stay up there as well. And again, the view to the north is how my wheel is set up.
Amazing view.
And so right now, I'm currently working on some covered jars, and I can uncover here so that you can see. And this will be a form that I'll be demonstrating during the upcoming workshop, is March 5th and March 12th, 2 3-hour sessions.
And just so folks know, because a few people did ask if it's the same session duplicated. It is not. It is a full 6 hours broken up into 2 3-hour sessions. So you're going to get a lot of Adam. You're going to get 6 hours of Adam.
Yeah, and a lot of that before and after stuff. You know, a lot of this, especially with, say, like a pot like this, where it's actually built in 2 sections. And so for me to get it finished, it'll be nice to have the 2 consecutive Saturdays. So that is a jar that will get a lid. And you can see I was throwing a bunch of lids last night and a bunch of knobs that I was trying some fun stuff with. So excited to always, I'm always excited to be making covered jars. Let me plug in the light here, and I'll show you one of my favorite covered forms that I've made in the last couple of years. And I decided to hold on to this one because I liked it so much. And this is all hand carved decoration on the interior, exterior. And this is based on a traditional Korean historical pottery form. And
it's stunning. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I had a client that wanted me to replicate, but in my own style. So based on this traditional form, but with my own carving style on it. And so one of just a number of pots that I'll be demonstrating during the workshop. And then the carving as well. You can see these are all little scraps. The carving, the thousands of lines that I carve, my pots. And here's a finished one of my cups here. And oh yeah, and it won't just be like larger, super intimidating forms, but I think like some of my favorite covered jars are these more intimately sized smaller pieces. So I'm gonna really mix it up with the different forms that I'll be making during the workshop. And importantly, I'll take you back upstairs here to the second floor. And one of the things that I really love about having guests to my studio is the collection that I have from being a potter for so many years. And I'll be getting some of these pots out and discussing, their specific functions and different features of the pots as part of the workshop as well. This is one of my favorite new additions to the collection. Some of your members might be aware of Mundo Bang is a really popular Korean ceramic artist who's really active on Instagram, and he sent me this really amazing little collection of bowls that have a lid to the whole set. Be fun.
Those are a treasure right there. Wow.
So yeah, I'm really excited to be doing another workshop. Last year was a whole lot of fun and really great to have kind of connected with the ClayShare group and to just see people posting things that they've tried from the last workshop and finding different directions to take their own work in. So it's pretty cool.
We had such positive feedback from your workshop. Everybody absolutely loved it. I think it was a life changer for some folks who, the way you share so much and the way you work and your, process and everything, and the way you break things down was just really so clear and concise. And I know so many folks just loved it. And, the great thing about the workshop is they once you get the workshops with us, you can go back and watch them over and over. So it's, right. You watch them live and they're with you live, but then they get to have it later. And, one of the things that we love to do, the fact that we can make it possible so that you can do a workshop and reach people from all over the world. And also so you don't have to travel. I know sometimes that's difficult. And the fact that, you were able to put that addition on your studio and we're like, to be able to help that happen. That is just amazing. And so it's, to the ClayShare community, everybody out there who, and all the other artists that have done workshops, it's been amazing. I don't think most people realize that when you're a potter, selling your pottery and making pottery for a living, you do, make a portion of your income from that, but teaching workshops is also a huge part. And when that is taken away, that can really affect how you survive your livelihood, right? And for us be able to help make up for what was lost is just, there's nothing better. There's nothing I'd rather be able to do. So, when we chatted about you doing another workshop, I was more than thrilled to have you come back and do another one. I know everybody will love it because it's with you. So it's going to be great no matter what. I see there's a few folks asking about your studio practices and how do you keep it so clean? Like, how do you keep the studio at that clean condition all the time?
Yeah, I mean, to go back a little bit to what you were talking about with workshops is I was really fortunate to work at a ceramic supply store when I was fresh out of college, and the owner of the store wanted his employees to be knowledgeable. And so he gave us $500 a year to take workshops and classes. And that set the tone for me and also kind of got me really interested in wanting to kind of, pay that forward because I learned so much from taking workshops. And, you mentioned like my style of teaching, and that just comes from taking a ton of workshops myself. And I still will take a workshop when I have the opportunity. So in terms of cleanliness, that is something that I've always, heard across the board. Like, if I want to be in this for the long haul, then I want to keep my studio clean. And I mean, it comes right down to, it's so funny because I'll have potters come to visit and they'll look at my wheel and the tools and the space around it. And I really didn't prep this for the work or for this tour, or my splash pan is absolutely filthy right now.
It's not that bad. Not absolutely.
Right. And, for me, a big part of having a clean studio is just really being able to not have clutter and to be able to work efficiently, effectively. But there's physical clutter of like trying to get around something that's in the way, but then there's mental clutter too. And that's a big one for me. Where if there is a whole lot of distraction and clutter around, I can't focus, especially when it's time for me to be like carving these intricate patterns on my pots. And so, so I have to keep things somewhat tidy and in order. And as I was telling you before we went live, the latest addition to that was there was a pretty messy, what I would call office desk right here before, but it was more like a pile of like packing material and shipping stuff and all that. And so just in the last day, my assistant and I turned it into all of my non-pottery tools, because that was the thing that demonstrates exactly what you're talking about is, I'd have my assistant here and he's ready to work. And, we were like trying to replace a sensor light outside. And it's like, okay, where are the pliers? Where's the step ladder? All that stuff. And it's like, okay, if I could just get it all in order, then I would be able to move much more quickly through this. And sure enough, like once I got all the tools in order, I was like, you know what, we need to get a pegboard up on the wall for this. And voila, the skill saw is right here and the drill is right next to it. And it went up in, no time. Whereas before things were taking longer. So
it's really worth the time every day to clean up a little bit for the long haul. I know we want to just work right up until the end of our time we have available in the studio. But if you stop, that 30 minutes before, although we don't want to, and you clean up, it'll just be a much better work environment, in every way. Plus you can find your tools, which, because you could lose hours trying to find one particular thing.
Tell me about it.
I know, I've been there too. So some folks were asking, how do you keep warm? What do you use to heat your studio?
Okay, so this is a bit of a point of pride for me here, which is I worked out of so many dingy basement studios over the years. When I finally was really lucky to get this great property with a 3-story studio building, I made a promise to myself, which was always t-shirt weather
in the studio.
Yeah,
I need to do that.
It's always going to be temperature, and it's so nice because I can actually there's that physical relaxation that comes with not shivering.
Are you seeing me shiver right now? It's cold in my studio.
And so the building has a heater on each floor, and I keep it usually at about 68 degrees, which is nice. Pretty comfortable for me. So yeah.
That's really nice. We're in a transitionary space right now in my studio. We're trying to build a new one, but the situation with getting things built is a little difficult at this point. So I'll come out and be 39 degrees, break the ice in the bucket so I can work. But one of these days I will have a t-shirt studio.
Yes, you must.
Yes. But so I'm seeing some folks asking questions about you and Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah.
Making pottery together.
Yeah. So that whole thing, I just stumbled across it. I saw these interesting, bright, colorful pots. And I'm like, okay, who's making these? And, it was on Instagram. I'm like, wait a second, this is the actor and comedian Seth Rogen making pottery. And so right away was interested. And at first I actually was and a lot of people have asked me about this, is he just pulling some kind of prank here? Is this going to be some kind of comedy movie that comes out based on all of this? And it's man, he is serious as a heart attack. He is all about it. He is addicted. He is as excited about clay as anybody I've come across in my 22 years of making pottery. And so I just, I sent him a friend request and and a message and just said, hey, I think it's really cool what you're doing. And I think it, gives visibility outside of our clay bubble to what's being done with clay these days. And good for you. Awesome. And he sent me a message back and followed me, which I couldn't believe. And then, yeah, I mean, with him, I just thought, I imagine he gets people asking for things all the time as a celebrity. And I just thought, I don't want that to be part of my connection with him. And so what I ended up doing is like, oh, he's trying to do this work. I wonder if he knows about this artist. And so I'd send it over to him, and he was thankful and like, oh, I didn't realize somebody was doing this, and that's interesting. And here's how it can contribute to his work. And so that kind of for a long time was what I would do. I would just like send over different Instagram feeds for him to check out, and saw that he was following most of the time. So like, okay, that's not me bothering him. And so that was kind of the basis of our connection. And then I was delivering some pottery to California, to LA, not so far from where I figured he lived, and just sent him a message saying, hey, sorry to reach out kind of out of the blue, but as a potter, when I'm traveling, I reach out to other potters because I, am so interested in seeing different studios and just meeting potters in the real world and all that. And the delivery that I was doing was contingent upon a really strict COVID test. And so I said, I'll be freshly tested. And it was like the perfect timing. And he's like, yeah, here's my address, and, give me a text before you come over, and we'll be ready. And so was able to, he was having some issues with, he and his wife were both having some technical issues with the pots they were trying to make. And I said, I have my tools. And if you want, I'd be happy to throw some pots and show you some stuff. And they were thrilled. And actually his wife was like, just yesterday I was saying how great it would be to have somebody to come and teach us. And so here it is.
So amazing.
Yeah. So it was very, very cool. And then I was really lucky through that to be able to work on a collaboration with him and his cannabis company, making some custom ashtrays, which actually I have some right here. I'll show you what your viewers and followers, what those look like. So the whatever you're smoking sits on that. And the idea was it was in his kind of form, but with my decoration and glazes and all that. So yeah, pretty fun project.
It's pretty interesting, the people we meet in this life as potters, And I think it's wonderful that somebody with so much influence and with celebrity is bringing pottery to the forefront. I know over the last couple of years, pottery has become more and more popular. People have rediscovered it, and because they've been spending more time at home and they have the opportunity to do so. And it's really great to see somebody out there who's, like you said, he's not doing it as a joke. He's doing it seriously. He wants to be a potter and he wants to be better. So he's taking it serious and practicing, and it's a good thing for the medium, I think. So the more people making pots, I always feel the better. You can never have too many potters in this world. Everybody should make pots, I think, but that's my life goal: get everybody making at least one pot in their life.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing with us all. So you moved to a new studio last year?
I've had a number of people think that, and I think it's just because of the kiln build that happened. But I've been in this studio for the last 4 years.
Okay. So it's not new.
No, but the
new
apartment upstairs was built out and the new kiln was built. And so I think people saw that and thought, oh, this must be a new thing. But it was additions, to the existing studio. But one thing that I talk about a lot is just like really continuously like finding the things that feel like there's some kind of resistance or that it don't quite fit right in the studio, and actually not just like feeling bothered by it and doing nothing, because that's kind of my inclination if I just based on my disposition. But I've really made it a point to, if there's something that's bothering me, to change it in the studio, because I want my studio to be a place that I am excited to go to every day and to make pots. And the best way to do that is to just have it be smooth, and functional and comfortable, and have, warm temperatures, good music, a way to, yeah, exactly. Have a sink that's on this floor instead of having to go up and down 16 stairs every time I forget to get some water or something like that in the studio. And then it's like easier to mop every day. And so it's like little things like that. So that goes back
to easier to keep it clean, so it makes your workflow better. It's a better creative space. It's a space you want to be in because you're not thinking about the clutter you have to clean up. So it's just, it all works back.
Yep. It's the overall system. Yeah.
Awesome. So we got to wrap it up. We've got about a minute left before we have to go. So I don't know if there's anything else last minute you want to share before we sign off.
I'll share again, since it's a covered jar workshop, I'm going to be doing some moon jars as well as part of this workshop. And I just realized I have one right here. So I'll share that as well. And otherwise, thank you so much for having me as part of the Clayshare Con, and looking forward to hearing more about the conference as it continues.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And you guys can check out Adam, follow him on social media if you're not yet.
You can find him on Instagram. And Adam's workshop is coming up, like he mentioned. That's March 5th and the 12th. Anybody can sign up for the workshops. You do not have to be a member of Clayshare. If you sign up for the workshops, you get to watch the live event, but then you also get the replays forever. So you do not have to worry if you can't make some of it for some reason, or if you feel it's moving too fast for you, or there's techniques that you feel like you might not be ready for. That's okay. They're going to be there as a replay when you are ready. And the other thing we do is, if you're a premium member of Clayshare, we do offer a discount, so you can get that link from Clayshare forums for premium members, and we always send out an email every week to our members letting them know about that. So folks have a few questions about where they can buy your art. Adam, I know I don't have you on camera, but you're in my ear. So do you have anything available right now?
I don't. I make my work to order, and it's months out at this point, but reach out directly, and I have all kinds of information for pricing and availability.
Fantastic. So just reach out to Adam directly, and he'll get you info for that. So check out
on clayshare.com. If you scroll down on the main page, you'll see the workshops. You'll see the description for Adam's workshop and what is going to be happening. It's starting March 5th, so that's really not that far out from now. That's only next Saturday, so a week from this coming Saturday. So if you've got nothing planned for the next couple Saturdays, come hang out with Adam and learn some amazing pottery techniques. All right, Adam, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you, everybody out there. We will be back in a few minutes at 7:15, and we have 15 giveaways tonight to do. So we'll be doing that and talking about what's happening tomorrow. See y'all then.